you won't hear it from the Copernican academic deceivers. Why? Because if they told you the truth about eclipses and explained how they work, you would immediately see through the falsehood of the globe model, and you would see that the Earth is stationary and flat. Simple. That would void the global agenda in a heartbeat, and a lot of corporations that have everything to lose as they had a vested interest in the globe. This upcoming eclipse will be viewed in the USA and will cast a 70-mile wide shadow traveling from west to east, contrary to the usual flow of celestial traffic. Oops. Big oops. Houston, we have a problem. So this is the prayer of the globalists. Oh, help us, Santa God, to save our Santa ball. Please, Santa God, help us explain this anomaly to the programmed upside-down spinners so we can continue to deceive them. There it is, quote from the false prophets / deceivers of the cult of Santa Ball. Globalists. Here's the real explanation for the eclipse. You will easily be able to explain all eclipses once you understand how they work. Firstly, click on this astrological link below and punch the time. Well, what I'll do is I'll do this in real time for you guys. How's that? Oh, no.
It's a half link.
Oh, it works. Oh, is that link not working?
No, it's good. You got it now. You're good. We can see it.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Something's wrong here.
A half link.
Sorry, guys. I'll fix that in real time, right? Because that's not good. People will be going there, and you need to be able to click on that link, all right? So once you see what I'm doing, okay, there's the link. I'll fix that. Let's go back to here. All right.
The lamp doesn't work as well.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they're more or less the same.
Yes, it does work. It works.
Yeah, but there are several more links having the same problem.
Okay.
It's all cut off.
God.
It's only a couple of clicks to sort out, Santos, that.
No worries. I'll do that now because people might want to click on them as we go. Okay, so is that all right?
It's fine, Santos. We're with you. Carry on.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta love Facebook algorithms. They always mess up stuff.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes where only half the link comes through and that you save the whole link. It's a bit strange, that.
Yeah, you know what? They're making these applications harder to use. They used to be so straightforward and user-friendly. Now they're just ridiculous. Bear with me, please.
Okay, but at least you noticed the mistake and you can sort it out.
Yeah.
All right. It's all done. Right. So I'll show people what they need to do, how to be able to work the astrological applications here. So I've put here, you need to put in 10:30 a.m., place Los Angeles. Yes, I know that the eclipse will start on the West Coast in Washington State near Portland, Seattle, but we're not looking for declination here. We're looking for the longitudinal value. So Los Angeles is pretty much okay. All right, just keep things simple. And here we've got the 21st of August. So what we'll do, I do have the charts of the astrological ecliptic here, as you can see at the bottom. But I want to show people who are not so familiar with how to work astrology, because astrology will teach us our true cosmology. And I'll prove that by the end of this show, okay? Now, 21st of August, we need to go to 2017, and let's do about 10:30 a.m., was it?
Yeah.
Los Angeles. Right, so what we've got here, now, this is how to understand this wheel. Most people will see this and that they can understand nothing of it, okay? What you're going to get is a real crash course to understanding this chart, which is both astronomical and astrological, okay? So what you see here, this is the eastern horizon. So you cut a line right across the middle here. That's the ascendant. So this is the east where everything rises. So as you can see at 10:30 in the morning, Jupiter is rising. You'll see a big star in the east before the ecliptic. Look out for Jupiter. Very, very big star. Jupiter will be rising in the east about 10 or 10:30 in the morning, or even, yeah, around, oh no, yeah, you won't see it because the sun will be right up. Here it's in mid-morning, 10:30. Okay, the MC here, this is 12 midday, the meridian. Okay, and by the way, this is how you get AM and PM. Everything on the left side of the MC here is AM, anti-meridian. What's the meridian? This line here, going straight up and down, vertical. That's the meridian. So everything here, from here, this point here down below, is 12 midnight. So this is where AM, anti-meridian, is, and this is where post-meridian is, because everything after the midpoint, the medio cielo, coelo, or middle of the heavens, okay, this is like the apex, the, what do you call this properly, the, not the summit, not the apex, anyway, it'll come to me. And then here is where the sun sets over here. This is like 6 p.m. over here. So we have a 24-hour clock. That's what you're looking at. So when the eclipse happens, it'll be about 10:30 on the west coast, okay? Now what you can see clearly is that the sun and moon are conjunct, 28 degrees. And you see Rahu, the north node, is at 24 degrees. Pay attention to this. Every time there is an eclipse, Rahu is right there next door. All right, so we're going to work out what Rahu is, because Rahu is what's causing the eclipse, not the moon. Because if it was the moon, we would have an eclipse or a partial eclipse every 29.5 days. This is why you can never see the moon when it's conjunct the sun. And we're going to understand why that is. So let's go back to my reading and we'll come back to this for reference. Are you following me?
Yes, we are, Santos.
All good.
And hopefully the chat room is as well.
Hope so, because this is pretty simple, really. Here you will see the sun and moon conjunct on the 28th degree of Leo. This is clearly showing the sun and moon together, conjunct. Here is where mainstream science concludes that the moon is passing in front of the sun since she is closer to us than the sun, according to the Copernican theory. Therefore, she will eclipse the sun. This is not at all what is happening, and they know it. Any other day, this would be a simple, everyday, normal, straightforward new moon. Why is it that you can never see the moon at the time of the new moon at all for the better part of 2 days? The moon is not seen because it is, quote unquote, under the beams of the sun. Now let's click on that one. What does it mean to be under the beams of the sun? Well, astrology has the answers, doesn't it? Let's have a look here. Astrological dictionary, under the beams. A planet is said to be under the beams when it comes within a certain range of a conjunction with the sun. When a planet is under the beams, its light is completely overwhelmed and obscured as a result of its close proximity to the sun. The exact range in which a planet becomes visible or invisible is based on its proximity to the sun, varies based on the planet involved, as well as other factors such as atmospheric conditions. However, astrologers during the Hellenistic tradition used a standardized range of 15 degrees on either side of the sun for a planet to be considered to be under the beams, or I use the expression under the rays. Okay, therefore, in most ancient Greek and Latin texts from the Hellenistic and Roman period, when a planet is said to be under the beams, it means that it is within 15 degrees of a conjunction with the sun. All right, so that's that. We can take that away, and we go to just one more thing, guys. No, we want this one. Here is another term you will hear in astrology: combust. So under the rays and combust. Combust is also interesting. We need to understand this. A planet is combust when it is in conjunction with the sun, and therefore hidden from sight by the light of the sun. Traditionally, this is a serious debility and implies that the planet is weakened or restricted in power. Should I read the next bit? Yeah, look, I'll read this next bit about Cazimi because it's another aspect. However, if a planet is within 17 minutes of arc of the sun, it is termed Cazimi, in the heart of the sun. I mean, that's a perfect conjunction. That means they're exactly on the same, virtually the same degree, but they have to be within 17 minutes of arc, okay, to be Cazimi, which is very, very, very special. And people born under that conjunction are very, very blessed and powerful people. So it says, and is considered strengthened by the union. In his introduction, William Lilly stated that the combust planet should be in the same sign as the sun and within 8 degrees 30 minutes. Beyond this distance, but within 17 degrees of the sun, the planet is said to be under the sun's beams. This condition is debilitating, but not as severe as combustion. Combustion is more debilitating because it's within 8.5 degrees. And what that means is it's actually behind the sun, guys. Because remember, even the astrologers knew that the sun spanned 32 minutes of arc in the sky, okay, of 1 degree, 32 minutes. This is why they have this 17 minutes up here is exactly half of the width of the sun, okay? From our perspective. It's not literal, from our perspective, okay? And so, but the 8 degrees combust, that's different. That means they are directly behind the sun, because 8 and 8 degrees gives you 16, which is half of the sun, which is definitely, well and truly behind the sun. And what we're going to see is that the moon is higher than the sun, and she passes behind the sun during the new moon, okay? And this was known to the ancients. Now, I'll just put this up so people can just read the rest. I will not read it. Okay, there it is. I'm going to pull this down now and move on. Shit. It's embarrassing. All right. If the moon is closer, so okay, I'll continue reading from before that link. The moon is not. Oh shit, where was I? I'll start from the top. This is not at all what is happening, and they know it. Any other day, this would be a simple, everyday, normal, straightforward new moon. How do I get rid of my chats?
Busy man, Santos.
Got it. Got it. Sorry, guys. I probably embarrassed those guys. They might have had some very private messages and the whole world's going to see them. I'll have to look at that later. Okay. Why is it that you can never see the moon at the time of the new moon at all for the better part of 2 days? The moon is not seen because it is under the beams of the sun. If the moon is closer to us than the sun, it should always be visible. It should be visible all month long. It is invisible at the time of the new moon because the moon becomes invisible due to its close proximity to the sun. So if people think this is hocus pocus, all they've got to do is go out at midday on the new moon, on the day of the new moon, and look up at the sun and look for the moon. Where is it? You never see the sun and moon together. At the same size, there they are sitting there together. And even though the moon's ecliptic plane is 5 degrees skew width of the sun's ecliptic plane, the moon should always be at the new moon in front of the sun and fully visible, and every month, every 29.5 days, there should be a partial eclipse of the sun, because that 5 degrees of differential of ecliptic planes between the sun and the moon will cause the moon and the sun to be so conjunct that they will overlap each other always, every single day of history, every single month, and yet it doesn't. You never, ever see the moon. It goes totally invisible. Now, if it was a rock floating around in space at 220,000 miles away, whereas the sun is 93 million miles away, where is the moon at the new moon? Where is it, globetards? Where is the moon at the new moon? Okay, continuing. So what is eclipsing the sun? Big question, hey? Because it's not the moon. You will notice on the astrological chart you have in front of you that the North Node is on the 24th degree of Leo, just 4 degrees away from the sun and moon, as it always is at every eclipse in the history of the universe. This is the cause of the eclipse. The Hindus call this Rahu, the head of the dragon. It is also known as the black sun. You will also notice that the little letter R just near the North Node, there it is. Can you see that, guys?
Oh, yeah.
See that R? Right. That means it's retrogressing. What's retrogressing mean? Well, let's have a look at something for a bit. Okay, so we've already learned that this wheel turns clockwise. So here's the sun at 10:30 a.m. At 12 midday, the sun will be here. 2 o'clock, it'll be here, and the sun will be in the 9th house. Then at 4 o'clock, the sun will be in the 8th house. Then at 4 to 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, the sun will be over here, setting, and it'll go past this point here, this cusp, and it'll have set. Now, but all these planets, they are all going anti-clockwise, guys, because the signs, they go anti-clockwise. Here's Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, anti-clockwise, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Cap, Aquarius, Pisces. So the sun, on the 21st of August, is about to leave the sign of Leo. It's on the 28th degree. On the 22nd, it will be on the 29th degree. A day for a degree, because the sun in its 365-day journey around the 360-degree ecliptic is roughly a day per degree. So on the 22nd, the sun will be on the 29th degree of Virgo, and the moon will be where? Well, the moon will have advanced 13 degrees. So she will be in the 12th degree of Virgo. She will be right here, just past Mercury. Mercury's retrograding at that time, by the way. And Saturn will have gone direct the day after, on the 22nd of August. Very interesting, this. Pay attention. Only the ones who pay attention, the intelligent ones who have eyes to see and ears to hear, will get what I'm talking about, okay? So the moon will have advanced. She's going this away, guys. The sun is going this away, anti-clockwise. As they turn daily, clockwise once, they are yearly journeying this way. If you master this, you will be a master of astrology. You will understand how this works. Now,
If you ask me, you
so,
can animate.
hey?
If you ask me, you can actually animate this. And
Yes, brother.
Especially
Yes.
in time steps that you can actually see which rhythms there are.
Exactly. Now pay attention. Mercury is in Virgo at the moment, or at that time, okay? And he is retrogressing. So guess what? He's going clockwise. He's going this way, guys. Okay? Saturn, slowly, he's going that way too. Because he's retrogressing. His normal traffic is going anti-clockwise. So Rahu is obviously going in this direction as well. So first thing, if you are intelligent and you're paying attention, you will say, well, hang on though. Rahu's going this way, and the sun and moon obviously must be proceeding forward along the ecliptic anti-clockwise this way. So how can Rahu, if he's on the 24th degree of Leo, and the sun on that day and moon are on the 28th degree, 4 degrees away, that's a long distance in the heavens. How can Rahu be eclipsing the sun? Well, easy, because Rahu is a fragmented body, invisible, dark, shadowy, substanceless body in the sky, broken up into 7 pieces, and they are all around this node. See, Rahu is here, and its opposite node is exactly 180 degrees opposite in Aquarius over here on the 24th degree of Aquarius. That's called Ketu, the south node. So what is a node? First of all, let's address this. Okay, here is a Vedic astrology depiction of it, the best one I could find. It's very simple, and it's based on the Earth being a ball in the middle here. Now, let's just ignore that. So these are the nodes, these 2 points. Okay, here. This one is called Rahu. Here it is, ascending node, because it ascends. You have to go, the moon has to go up 5 degrees here, higher than the sun's. This is the sun's ecliptic here. The main ecliptic, this one, and this one is the moon's, okay? And they intersect at these fulcrums. They're called nodes. This one's Ketu, the descending node, the south node. South because the moon goes south, okay? She's below the sun here. But at the north node here, she goes behind the sun. So this is the path of the sun here, okay? Now, nodal axis, pay attention, rotating counterclockwise. So this axis here of the nodes is constantly going in this direction, backwards, retrogressing all the time. It takes 18.5 years for Rahu to go from this point here in Leo. Rahu will be retrogressing for 18 years to get back to this point here. Okay, so when you watch the ecliptic on the 21st, you will notice that the shadow on the sun that blocks the sun completely is going backwards. It's retrogressing. And this is what many cosmologists of history, including Gabrielle Henriette in Heaven and Earth, the True Cosmology, in her book in the late 1800s. Oh no, sorry, the mid 1900s, where she wrote, how can the moon retrogress when she never retrogresses just to perform the solar eclipse? She's going in the same direction as the sun. She can never ever go backwards, doing a backwards shadow on the earth. It's impossible. And even the flat earthers out there that are trying to explain it, they're explaining it as if it was the moon causing the shadow. The moon causes no shadow of the sun. The sun causes the moon to become invisible, and you have your own proof. Just go to go out at midday or any time of the day when it's the new moon, and you'll see the moon is nowhere to be seen, and yet she's there with the sun. Astronomy tells you that. Astrology tells you that. Common sense tells you that. Common knowledge tells you that, and yet you cannot see the moon. Why? Because she is a sonoluminescent, self-illuminating body. And she passes behind the sun. Let's have a look at this site. I will link these sites, guys. Here is a beautiful site. Solar eclipses are not caused by the moon. NASA. Anyway, here, just read here. It says, according to Vedic astronomy, the most ancient and accurate system of astronomy on the planet, solar eclipses are not caused by the moon coming in front of the sun.
Can you post the links? Can you post the links?
Yeah.
Also, the one of the.
Tell you what, Santos. In a minute, if you write something in the chat room, I'll make you a wrench, and then you can put your links out.
Okay. Well, there's that one. All right. Let me just continue here. The eclipse is not caused by the moon coming in front of the sun, as astronomers believe. Rather, the moon is described as being further away than the sun. And what happens at the time of the solar eclipse is the moon goes behind the sun. And a dark planet called Rahu comes between the sun and the earth. Okay, that's gone. This one here, okay, let's just, these are all globe. These are mostly globe heliocentric models that are explaining things correctly with a incorrect model, as I used to do with my astrotheological presentations, explaining astrotheology correctly, but using a wrong model, which was heliocentrism. I should have listened to the astrologers who had it right from the start. Everything is geocentric. So I made a big mistake. I was poncing around as a Santa Baller, pontificating, with the wrong model, and now I've corrected that. So everything's 100% correct with astrotheology as it stands. Now, we don't need that one. We don't. Oh yeah, we'll stick with that. Okay, so let's continue. So you will notice the little letter R just near the north node. This means the north node is in retrograde mode. In other words, it is retrogressing. Hence, it goes backwards to block the sun due to its retrograde motion. Duh, the moon's not going backwards. It cannot be the moon, period. The moon never goes retrograde, and so cannot be making the backwards shadow from west to east. Only Rahu can do this, since he is right there and retrogressing. Oh, that's a nice coincidence, isn't it? A coincidence which the liars do not want you to notice / discover / understand. The Jesuits, who control all astronomical mainstream knowledge, know very well that the black sun is broken up into 7 pieces / disks, and they are scattered around the north node. They also know that when one of these 7 disks passes in front of the sun, it eclipses the sun, while the moon passes behind the sun at the time of the new moon. The solar eclipse can only happen when the new moon occurs conjunct the north node. It cannot happen anywhere else along the ecliptic. Pay attention. All solar eclipses happen when the sun is near Rahu, period. That's it. Whereas the lunar eclipse will happen when the full moon occurs near the south node, as in the case of the partial eclipse of the moon on the 8th of August, just 3 or 4 days ago, which you can easily see if you punch in the date, 8th of August, 4 p.m, Brisbane, Australia. There you will see clearly that the sun and moon are directly opposite each other, sun in 15 degrees Leo, and moon in 15 degrees Aquarius, directly 180 degrees opposed to each other. But notice the south node right there, 9 degrees away at the 24th degree of Aquarius. This is why it was a partial eclipse, because 9 degrees is too far away for the south node to completely cover the full moon. Here you can read about Rahu and the true cause of the solar eclipse. So let's do that now.